Cap speak up, Cap speak up, Cap speak up. Although I feel like that he should for the greater cause, but at the same time. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of the PHARAOHS Club podcast. You can follow us on our social media platforms, specifically on IG, PHARAOHS Club Pod. Check us out, like, subscribe, comment, engage with the fellas. And also, we're going to add in the description, we're going to add a link, the anchor link, where you can support, where you can donate, give the boys a donation. We'll take anything, just support, man. We are in the mode, the energy now is supporting Black businesses. So, you know, this is a Black production, all Black behind this. Support, like, subscribe, all that. So, okay, welcome everybody. Greetings. Gonna go around the table. Introduce everybody. We're gonna start down from the bottom of the map. My man Nas, what's happening, baby? You ready?
I'm ready, man. Appreciate seeing you guys. Let's get it going.
Always pleasure. Then we're gonna go out to the Midwest. My man Jay Feezy, what's up, baby? Mute, dog. You on mute?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm alive. I'm safe, and I'm healthy.
God bless. All right, man. We got my big brother. My man Luther over here, man. What's up, baby?
Oh, man, it's happy to be here, man. Miss you guys, man, my brothers.
Yes, indeed. And then we got my man Mean the Dream, King JC right here from DC. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Hey, what's going on, Black people? Equality, that's all we talking about. Let's get it.
Yep. And then we got my man on the West Coast, man, the architect of this whole thing. G, what's up?
Hey, man, I'm in the building, man, ready to pod. Like Jay said, I'm healthy and I'm alive, man. I can't ask for much more.
That's it. Can't ask for nothing more, man. Family's good. We good. In good health. We are, and I'm your man, Dale. I'm hosting today's episode. We're going to be talking Black consciousness, empowerment, equality, justice, all of the above, man. Last week's episode was heavy, rightfully so. So, you know, as upon popular demand, people want to have some more of this conversation around all of the protests and everything going on since the assassination of George Floyd. So, as mentioned last week, I was wrong. I said that, you know, unfortunately, after this brother passes, you know, 2 weeks down the line, we're gonna move on to something else. And I'm glad to be wrong in this case. That's not what's happening. Protests are still going on. It's still an uprising. It's unrest. People are still out here just voicing their opinions. They speaking out. You can't be more proud during these times as Black men. But this is historic times, in my opinion. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. So I'm curious to know, starting out, what has everybody's experience been, whether that's been with your family, on your job, like what's your experience has been with everything that's going on? Nas, I'm gonna kick it off to you, man.
You know, it's still very, you can't really recover because it keeps coming. Like the avalanche keeps coming. It just, before you can take your breath, another breath has been taken away. And so, you know, everyone knows about the situation that happened with Geno Brooks. And so before we can even get into our minds and kind of grasp the fact of what happened to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and the list goes on, we get hit with another, another hit to the gut, another grab to the heart. And it's been hard to try to get my mind and my thoughts around the idea of what's happening right now. I'm glad that this uprising is happening. I'm glad that status quo is not being taken for granted at this point. And so I'm just trying to get my mind wrapped around the idea of what comes next, and trying to, on my end, figure out the moves to make. Again, like, a lot of the great people who have spoken, the Killer Mikes and those folks who are trying to, on the ground level, figure it out and get the message out, organize, strategize, and get yourself in a position to make the move when it's time. Unfortunately, I do feel like this is just like
same old.
People's lives are going to be on the line with this. Like, this is not going to be peaceful. This is not going to be a hold hands, we shall overcome. This is going to be this feels a little bit more Tupac-ish, a little more kick in the door, guns blazing, because we just can't continue to see what we're seeing right after this happened. Like, it's not been but a couple weeks, and we already got another scenario. We got alleged hangings, and this is just getting to be a real awkward time. And I'm just trying to find my footing and find my space so that I can try to be as effective as I can in the movement, because I don't want to be silent and stagnant and stay still with this any longer.
But what is your experience been though? So like, if you talk to like your cousins back in Ohio, like what's the energy like? Are people more outraged, or do people do they feel like there's hope, that there's change on the horizon? Like what's your experience been?
I'm getting a lot of uncertainty. I don't know anybody who's had an answer, or who has a steadfast feeling about one way or the other. Everybody is just living in a land of purgatory. It's like you're in the middle of this whirlwind that nobody has really has in our generation has really seen before. And the energy that's coming along with it, you love seeing the swell and the support and the passion. You love seeing the dedication and the sacrifice that people are making in this movement. At the same time, you know that it's going to come at a price, and a lot of people are feeling that already. Stimulus checks and stars already run up, so people are kind of, there's a little uncertainty about a lot of things, and so that's the kind of feeling that I'm getting from people I've talked to. I've had a couple of conversations on social media with, white people who have reached out and asked, me questions, and I've thrown back statements and things like that. And so, you're getting some conversations that are happening, but the unrest that I feel and the uncertainty that I feel is just leading people into with this election coming up, there's just so much uncertainty coming up, and you already know that there's still more craziness and more circus stuff about to happen.
Hold that thought about conversations online with white people, because we're going to circle back to that, because that's very important, something that I want to get to. I want to jump, and anybody else, if y'all don't jump in, I'm calling you out. So I'm going to go to Fees, bro. What's your experience been? What's the energy like on your side? You on mute, by the way.
So, I sense some positivity. I feel a togetherness coming as well. I kind of feel like, yet we have a long way to go. We as Black people, a long way to go to where we need to be to restore our true power and our true worth. But I feel like there's a sense of more people becoming aware and knowing what needs to happen, taking their individual roles more important on how they need to carry themselves, and in the sense of supporting these Black businesses. I've had a ton of people that's what they're talking about, looking for online Black banks and where can they find Black retail outlets, and just a lot of that, more than what I have heard. So I also have a sense, kind of what my saying said, I think you got a lot of people that are unsure about what's going to happen. Like what to do? Like, what do I do? You know, I don't know if the protesting is everybody's lane. You know, so it's like, all right, well, what can I do if that's not my lane that I want to be in? Me personally, my experiences are, I mean, it is a lot going on right now. I know I've been out of work it's been 3 months, and I know I work at the casino, and they're starting to make calls, and they're going to be opening back this week. So it's like my mind's around that. I got 2 small children and a teenager. My teenager has orientation for her first job on Tuesday. So it's a lot of things that's kind of pulling my mind in a lot of different ways. And I get anxious every time I look at my Twitter because I don't know what's going to happen on that news feed, you know, and every day there's something new going on, you know, from all these Karens and these Beckys and calling the cops on people, from, you know, it's to more killings and the protestings. You know, you're looking for any nugget of normalcy and happiness and joy, but I don't know if it's a time for that right now. So I'm all over the place. And I don't know where to place some of these feelings at, man. But I'm numb. I'm numb too to a lot of this, man. I'm just numb because I just feel like things ain't clicking still. And like my Sans also said, I think the only other thing left to do is it's time to get dirty now. It's time to get dirty. Like, I mean dirty. Like, it's gonna have to be some more bloodshed, and in order for people to really understand what it is. And I don't know what that looks like, but you know, something needs to happen. Something drastic measures are coming, and something needs to happen because we're a society that's has embedded in us to always look for something to get back to normal. Look for something so we can quickly sweep it under the rug or put it in the closet and lock the key. Like, oh no, I don't want to worry about that now. Let's get back to this. But them closets is getting filled up. Them rugs is getting filled up, and the closets are busting out. And that's what's going on now. We can't hide from it anymore. This elephant is now a herd of elephants in the room. So something major needs to happen, but I do think there's a lot of people that don't know really what to do next. You know, right now I've had some great conversations with my 16-year-old, you know, just breaking things down to her. You know, I'm excited that Juneteenth is coming this week. That's going to be my ray of hope. My family, we're going to do it big on Friday. Cookouts, cakes, parties, music, fellowship. We're going to go the whole 9 because that's our 4th of July. That's right. The real 4th of July, the real Independence Day. It's this coming Friday, Juneteenth. And I hope everybody does something. And there's a lot of people still that don't know about it. I know it originated it's more commonly known in the southern states, but each one teach one, man. Spread the word of what you know of what that means, what the meaning of that is, and how powerful it can be right now with what's going on. And so I just, you know, I'm trying to look for ways to where I can contribute. You know, I gave some donations to a fund for the lovely Breonna Taylor, you know, and just trying to put my coins behind my mouth, you know what I mean, and support something and not just be a talker. But it's crazy out here, Dale. And then I got my 2 toddlers who are oblivious to what's going on, and you know, and just to see their joy when they're playing outside like nothing's going on, and I just be staring at them like, man, y'all have no idea. You have no idea. I'll be sitting there holding my son, my 2-year-old, the baby boy, and I gotta get this dude right, because you know, we all got boys, we all got nephews and different things of that nature, you know, and those conversations be different you know, when Jackson starts to move around a little bit as he gets older, we're gonna have them sit down conversations, man, about how to carry yourself and how to handle yourself and not putting yourself in certain situations. These are all things, I know I'm talking, but these are all things that going through my mind, man. And it's crazy, but I'm still embracing. I'm still in embrace mode because I know there's more to come.
So Lo, I'm really interested in your experience, given, you know, the position that you have in your job, in your line of work. What's your experience like? What's it been like?
Well, a couple things though with my experiences. Let me first off start off saying about, you know, what I've done over this past week and a half. We took a little quote unquote quarantine trip down Florida, and shout out to my ADP, Geno Brooks. He kind of challenged. I've kind of felt he kind of challenged me on doing more than just the swimming pool and having fun with the kids. Even though, you know, my children aren't of age that I think they really can receive what I'm trying to feed them. But that's another story. But we on our way down to Florida, we stopped at, you know, some civil rights monuments, 16th Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama, which we all know the story of the beautiful 4 little girls getting bombed while at church. Then we even made our way down to Martin Luther King Jr. home down in Montgomery, Alabama. So just to see those sites, you know, I haven't been back since I was a child, you know, but just to see the sites to be around and while the country is under unrest, you know, was kind of, you know, surreal to say the least. You know, just trying to explain to my son, you know, about there's really just bad people in the world, and you're gonna find these bad people, and you got to, you know, you're gonna make a choice in life, and just really just having a conversation with them was like it kind of hurt that we said to have these conversations, you know, with our children, and hopefully he wanted to have them with his children. But it was just good, just to be a part of that. But what was crazy is as we were leaving, you know, 16th Baptist Church that afternoon, the KKK had a plan to march, had a parade march down there. So it's like, man, like again, it's like we're still in the 60s, you know, when things like that, especially in the South. But as far as work goes, I mean, it's kind of funny because people come up to you now, just want to, hey, I'm with you. You know, you see Caucasian people with face masks on to say Black Lives Matter. You know, that's very humbling. And I know, like I said, we're under unrest right now, but you know, this had to happen. You know, I know it's still happening. You know, Mr. Floyd, you know, he sacrificed his life, and to me, you know, I kind of think it's going over bigger than MLK. You know, that's my opinion. You know, just the way the world is reacting with getting behind this, I think it is really on that level, if not more than Brother King. But I just feel like, I mean, people just being a little bit nicer. I mean, and I don't know if that's because of the color of my skin, or maybe they just are more understanding about, you know, our plight and our fight each day that we have as, you know, human beings, you know, and just waking up in the morning and already we're 40 points down from our counterparts. You know what I mean? Everybody doesn't know what that feels like, you know, but that's reality. And, you know, I just want to say publicly, I apologize, Mr. Kaepernick. You know, I was one of the naysayers. You know, I didn't understand. You know, I understood what you're trying to do, but I didn't see the end game. But
thank you for that.
Yeah. You, Mr. Kaepernick, you're ahead of your time. You know what I mean? And hopefully, it's not even about football anymore. I think football is so minute to his legacy. Like, I mean, like it's like nothing. I think he is on a different level. I think everything's really just begun. We all can get behind him and certain other people in our culture. I think we'll be all right. But that's how it's been for me.
We're gonna circle back to that too, and I'm taking down notes. We're circling back to a couple of things, talking to white people, talking to Cap. So I'm gonna come over to you, Geno. Y'all supposed to be jumping in, man, but I'm calling you niggas out. G, tell me about your experience, man, and what's it been like on the West Coast.
It's been crazy because a lot of the stuff, a lot of these movements is happening out here, as far as these protests, these peaceful protests, things of that sort. A lot of my industry friends have been like orchestrating and putting together. So, just seeing the movement and seeing the continued, my peers putting their foot down. Obviously it's not just all my friends, but I'm just saying, just seeing every time I go down my timeline, it's somebody that I know that's a part of what's happening, right? You know what I'm saying? And that feels good, But yeah, man, I kind of piggybacking off of something that Lo said. I don't want to sound blasphemy when I say that, George Floyd is making, not, I don't want to compare. That's what I don't want to do. It's not in comparison to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, or any other, big deaths. But I had this line that came to me for a short film that I'm writing, right? And it was similar. It was kind of similar to what George Floyd's daughter is saying. Her father changed the world, right? He never understood at the time that he was on this earth. He's probably, all those deaths that happened before him, like we're seeing now, right? One, he never knew that he would be one. And two, if it was him, he probably never would understand that he would be the chosen one to awake this movement that's happening right now.
Yeah.
That, because that his death alone has caused and created so much change, and piggybacked off what you said earlier too, is just like, seeing our white brothers and sisters a part of and really truly caring about and being able to speak up on what's happening has been inspiring. You know what I mean? Because I don't remember in my lifetime anything that shifted feels as feels like this feels. Even the Million Man March, you know what I mean? I don't remember it having this impact because I feel like they didn't care. You know what I mean? They didn't have a fight. They didn't have a fight in a person in the fight at the time. And I feel like now they may still be in the audience watching, right? But they know the fighter that's in the ring. And that's how I feel like white people are kind of looking at this. So now that they will speak up and hopefully change some of this stuff, man. But just being out here, it's been a beautiful thing, man. Outside of the news of the recent guy being potentially hung out here in California. You know what I mean? That's literally like only 45 minutes to an hour away from where I'm at. So that's crazy. Yeah, I know I ain't say much, but that's because I'm all over the place with my thoughts. But
yeah, we all are, man. It's okay. We all are all over the place, man. Mean, tell me about your experience, man. You live in the district. There's been a number of marches and protests. It's been some of the establishments that we frequent at, we patronize that have been under scrutiny. What you feel? What's your experience been like?
I mean, to be honest, man, I mean, just the social and economic impact has changed completely. I mean, you got to understand a lot of the establishments that, like you said, that we patron in DC and just globally. I mean, the way we living now is just different. COVID was the first wave, I guess, to wake people up. But now that we have social injustices, I mean, every time I get on social media, man, it's some new corporation or some systematic power that has now been consciously woken to make a power move to keep themselves relevant or get on the train of this social injustice train. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, it's been companies like Nike, you know what I'm saying, and other companies that I would never thought that would be like, oh, we got to say something. I mean, they making statements, and I'm just like, this is crazy. You know, our parents and the generations before us. I mean, if we had a time machine and we can transport them to now, they would probably be like, wow, this is crazy. Like, it's still going on, but with the platforms that we have, man, it's just a little bit more effective. What I'm really paying attention to be honest, is what's gonna be the outcome of all this. Like, everybody can be socially woke and conscious of what's going on, and they can affect their environments. But again, we talked about it in the last cast. What's the long game to this, right? Is this gonna fizz out in 2021? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm sad that, you know, we still got occurrences of injustice, and, you know, our people still getting killed over these stupid riots and stupid actions from the police and the law enforcement. But again, what's the long game from all this? Because again, we can't just keep having these same instances and then we keep protesting. I mean, we need, look, like we talked about the agenda, and I know we're gonna get into it later on. I just need to know what the agenda is going to be, you know, for us moving forward from all this.
Okay. Man, a lot to cover here, man. A whole lot. But I want to circle back, as promised, to what Naz mentioned earlier. He mentioned, and he spoke about it in our chat group. He had to talk to his neighbor who's Caucasian. So I'm interested in knowing, because in my opinion, I feel like that is the biggest difference in this, obviously, in these times than other times, is, you know, the white people seem to be, the people in power seem to be fed up. So I'm curious to know the interaction that you've had with your white counterparts. What have those conversations been like? What are the feelings that they've shared with you about everything that's happened? Anybody go first?
Hey, look, I'm gonna pass because my answer is gonna be real quick. I mean, I've been teleworking for the last 3-4 months, so I haven't had any interaction with any Caucasian or white co-workers or people with, you know, even in my neighborhood. I mean, it's a high buy situation. That's about it. But overall,
is the high buys different? Is it a like real quick? Hey.
No, it's the same. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And look, unless I come out with a kente cloth or some fight power type T-shirt on,
wear that shit.
Then
I do notice in my work chats, Dale. Like, since we all been furloughed, all the managers, we on the chat just to keep information abreast and everything.
Yeah. And
when the protesting kicked off here in Columbus, I feel like they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable. They don't even want to say certain words. They'll be like, "Oh, well,"
they don't know what to say
with everything that's going on downtown. Like, no, you mean the protesting? The protesting that's going on downtown? Yeah, you can say it. Say the words. Stop being uncomfortable. That's what made me ask y'all that day, like, because, you know, I'm itching to ask them some questions, man, and just to bring up some things. Like, I'm ready to wear the blackest shirt I can wear when I get back to work.
Bro, you know, this is your time, man. This is your time, nigga. Wear your shirt proudly. Ask any question. I think this is the one time where we should definitely have, like, we should be able to have conversations in general. But now, like, if you want to have talks about racism and whatnot, like, you got the green light, man. Like, I feel like this is more time than ever than talk about it, and you won't get scrutinized about it. You know, I damn sure I responded to a group wide email at work, and I let it know what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I think normally, you know, I would get pulled to the side, or somebody mentioned something to me, couldn't say shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because everybody, this is the one time that I feel like we can speak out about our blackness and our experiences as African Americans, man. So shit, you know, I just wanted to comment on that as you mentioned it. Like, say that shit. Say that shit. Wear your black pride. Wear You know, I'm ordering shit up. Like
too.
I can't wait, bro. Like this is the time. This is our time. It is.
But well, for me, well, speaking of the work life, you know, I was on a panel probably about a week ago, and you know, as you said, Dale, cold hard facts. And at the end of the day, it was a conference call, and you know, I got nothing but thank yous. Oh my God, you're the best. I would love to sit down with you and talk to you more in depth about what's going on. I never knew, you know, like those are the biggest things. Because I mean, unfortunately, like they never knew. Like some of them, I mean, some people are really oblivious to what goes on in this world. My neighbor, who I could consider a real friend, you know what I mean? You know, my son plays over there, his daughter plays over here, and vice versa, and it was like a real friend. I mean, he reached out to me, you know what I mean, and you know, he wanted to really talk about it and go into depth about, you know, what's really going on. Because I mean, he never knew. I mean, he was raised as, you know, everybody was equal. You know, no man was better than the next man. I'm saying, so he just thought that's just what it was, you know. But then you have some others, the trust fund. The trust fund generation, like to call them, you know, who pretty much come from money, and you know, doesn't understand that, you know, there's a whole different world. You know, those they still don't care. You know, it's the people who you know, the white collar people who still got to go to work, and you know, still have to go through certain things in their life. You know, that who still really care about us. But I mean, it just felt good. Just for him to reach out, you know, it's like, wow, okay.
You know what, Lo, on that,
get somewhere.
I'm sorry. I'm not willing to give a pass if you don't know. I mean, I think that in today, they know. Now, some are better to avoid it or live around what's going on. But I don't see how you can't know. I mean,
let me tell you this,
unless you under a rock,
right?
You know.
Hold on, let me give this fee. So
big facts.
Hold on, my wife graduated college. I guess saying let's see, 05. We can't 05. And at her school, she went to a PWI school. There was people in her class who never seen a black person in their life.
Yeah, they don't know.
This is 2005. This is 2005. They never seen. I mean, they could be brought up on a farm. You know, a lot of. I mean, you got South Dakotas, North Dakotas. Sure. I don't know nobody whoever been there or from there. You know,
them damn Dakotas. Goddamn.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, there's people in this world who just don't know. Then you have people in the world who's raised. If you're raised at a prestige level, you know, you've been Cincinnati, like Cincinnati Country Days, Summer Country Days.
Yeah.
Them kids don't know, brother. Believe me.
I just feel like with technology and just basic TV and news, you know, it's so far removed from you, and it don't affect your life. So again, they live around it. That's just my opinion, man. I don't buy it. That's a bunch of bullshit.
See, and that's what, and that's why it's important that you talk to your folks, man, because I think that you'd be surprised to hear, you know, what they say. You know, we have we have like virtual lunches at my job where me and some of my coworkers will sit down and we'll just talk. And we met last week. This was right after we recorded, and they were, you know, how was your weekend? Yada yada yada. And I just told them, I just kept it funky, man. I was just like, man, like I'm on a roller coaster of emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm confused, I'm upset, I'm depressed. You know, I'm all of these things, and I had to let her, my one coworker, I won't say her name, but older white lady, and I told her, I was just like, man, this is frustrating as a black man, because I've always advocated after all of this series of events that's happened with Trayvon, Mike Brown, Eric Gardner, so on and so forth. You know, when you get pulled over, man, like, cooperate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Your mission is to get home, straight up cooperate. And I've stood tall by that. And I've been pulled over numerous of times since then. And I've cooperated and I've gotten off and whatever. So I explained to her when watching what happened with George Floyd, I'm confused. I'm sad. I don't know what to feel because he cooperated and he lost his life in broad daylight. And I told her, as Black men, like, we are told this time and time again from when we are little boys. This is how you act when you're in the presence of the police. Yes, sir. No, sir. You know, you go the extra mile of being kind and being nice. And she was just mind blown. She had no idea that, like, that's what we have to do as Black men. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, this is talk to your white counterparts, man. Again, this is the time to, you know, just because they really don't know. Like, I mean, we are in our bubble too. You know what I'm saying? We understand what it's like to be Blacks because that's all we know. That's all we went to HBCUs. Like, our whole experience has been Black. You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk to the white people, man, and let them know what it is because a lot of them, they don't know.
I'm glad you said that. I want to like piggyback and segue that energy, right? What I'm seeing is a lot of people saying that I've seen some posts like, yo, I don't got time to be educating you on this. I don't have time to talk to you about this. Go out and read and go out and find your own information.
Word.
I love to hear your opinion on that because mine is a little bit contrary to that. If this is our time to rise, well, this is our time to speak out, like you were saying, and we're doing that, and then we're finding true allies in that race, then why won't you take the time to educate them, right? Mm-hmm. In my opinion, you leave that person just as ignorant. If they're reaching out for the information, then of course you're not a professor, but at the same time, in my opinion, I think it's our job to point them in a direction to get a little bit more knowledge on the situation. But to leave them floating and saying, well, nah, you go find it yourself, I think that's just as ignorant, in my opinion. Because if you got them wanting to
on the hook,
and you just leave them out there, that's another motherfucker that can go back to how they've been thinking or saying, you know what I mean, and they won't continue to support us because what we're looking for is the bridge to make everybody common, for they can kind of, if they could just feel any type of empathy for what we're going through, that might change them.
That's true, G. But like, I think that.
Let me finish. And if you leave them on the hook with no information, and again, I'm not asking nobody to be no goddamn scholar to them. I'm just saying, I just don't think that. I think it's counterproductive. Is my point.
Go ahead, Nas.
My thought is just that that conversation is going to take a long time to convince people who don't understand what our plight is. In the same breath, we done already had 2 people die since we didn't have the conversation the first time, right? So, like, I think some people are just so frustrated. It's like, look, if you really want to know, there's plenty of information out there for you to go find it. Google it. Go if you really are dedicated to trying to figure out what this means, and if you are really racist at your core, or if you just trying to figure out what our plight is, then do some journeyman work and find out what it is. Because in the meantime, we still being targeted and we still dying. So I ain't got really time to sit here and talk to you, because after this conversation, I might be pulled over by the cops on the way home. So stall me on all of it. I mean, I'm with it. I know that we need them for the movement. But if you truly, I mean, it ain't like you got to go to the library and Dewey Decimal System it up. Google it. Google what Juneteenth mean. Google all of the stuff that we've been telling you about for years.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying
that. But
I'm not saying the conversation don't need to happen, but I'm just saying some people are frustrated. Like, you want me to sit down right now and tell you the whole Black history? You got to do some work on your.
Right. I agree with that portion of it. All I'm saying is what I'm suggesting, and you tell me if you feel like different, is take that energy, don't leave them on the hook, and then give them 3 or 4 or 5 things that you can point them to.
Absolutely.
So they can,
Absolutely.
Google. But for
absolutely.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it should be a dead conversation like, hey, man, storm me out and you walking away. But I do understand the energy of, I've seen a few of those. I don't know if we watch the same ones, but I saw a few of those videos where people are just saying, look, we tired, man. Y'all want to talk now? Now that we uprising, y'all want to have a conversation and be all kind? We in the middle of something right now. Do the research and figure it out while we figure out how we can stop getting murked. And so I can understand both sides of it.
Well, I was going to say, man, it really comes down to
which one hurts us, though? That's what I want to know.
Which one what hurts?
If each black person took a second to point them in a direction for some information, not all, then saying, fuck that, you go find it yourself. Like, which one would do more damage to us? Taking a couple more minutes out of your time, have a list of shit on your fucking text message or your notes on your phone to just be like, yo, here, go check these out. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's reasonable.
But I was gonna say, man, it come down to respect, though. I mean, to even get to that point of what y'all talking about, they have to respect us on a certain level. Like, I mean, some of these people don't even view us as equals. So, like my shirt say, equality, right?
Fuck them.
If you don't view us as equals, why would I want to take the time out to understand your plight and understand where you come from and who you are and the color of your skin?
Because they're coming to you. Like, I mean, they open the door up. They open the door. Why would you shoot them away? You'd be like, okay, oh yeah, you want to know what the hell's going on? As G said, use that energy. As frustrated as we are, waking up again, down 40 points each day, as social injustice, cut on the CNN every day, see the other men down. Come watch CNN with me.
And if they feel comfortable enough to actually approach you about it, they're making themselves vulnerable in that moment. And
absolutely,
that's the opportunity, because they're not going to come up to every black person and just start asking questions. So if they see you, they're like, okay, I feel like I can talk to this dude and he's gonna not try to beat my ass or come with a smart comment. He can come at me on some respect and some education type stuff, and then I can find out, and I'm gonna be in tune. You know what I mean? So I see what you're saying, G. I mean, I see what you're saying too, Nas. But I like what G says. It's a follow up. Like, all right, you know what? Here, I got something you can go check out. Here, go check this and this out. Go look up what Juneteenth means and where it started from and how it originated. You know what I'm saying? And you'll learn a little bit more about me.
So look. I don't want to harp on this too long. I think, you know, we kind of got away from the point. I think that is good. I think that's something that's a solution that we should take away from this. Your white counterparts that you talk to that respect you, this is your time where you can have that conversation and you can let them know what it is. You all can have conversations about race that you never had the opportunity to talk about before. And to G's point, I think that you should direct them to facts and Juneteenth and other things to research.
But Dale, let's say one last thing. And really, broaden horizons, you know, this stuff wasn't taught to us in high school. I mean, in our education. That's
a good point, Lo.
Yeah, of course.
That's gonna fuck them up. Like that's gonna fuck them. Like, damn. Like, why not teach this? The real history of America.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, and if we have them on the hook to be allies, a true allies means both of y'all got to kind of give in to certain point to be able to move forward, and that's what I'm saying.
Why the hell wasn't Matt on, man? God damn it, that'd have been perfect.
Yeah, man. He talking about
next time.
Like, yeah,
next time, man. This still gonna be hot next podcast.
Yeah.
I still want to know. This don't seem like this going nowhere, dog. But I still want to know, like, what have those conversations been like? Because I know, like, with some white people, like, they don't know what to say. Like, they don't know how to act. They don't know if they're being out of line. So. Somebody else. So I want to know what somebody else's experience has been like with talking to the white folk.
I got let me see 1, 2, 3 or 4 people, possibly 5. 3 of them I know are truly my friend, right? I'll say that. 5, I feel like they care about me. Then I got associates. I've gotten about 6 or 7 text messages. I got 2 calls for them to check in on me and see how I'm doing, right? And I felt like that's the least they could do. You know what I mean? And after the first 2 or 3 texts and calls, I was checking to see if the next 2 people that I expect to call. So, man, if you say you with me, if you love me, if you wouldn't want nothing to happen to me, if you can go up into the mountains and scream, yo, G wouldn't be that person to do that, whatever the fuck you're claiming that he did, then, yo, check on my mental health, because what they don't realize is, bro, this shit is taxing on our mental health.
That's a fact, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's taxing on us mentally. You think once they pull us over, check our ID and pull us out of the car, whatever the extent to each individual situation, that's over if you make it home alive. Hell no, that's traumatizing for the next time you see them red and blue lights coming down your back, bro.
Shit.
You know what I mean? The whole time I'm thinking about.
Speak on that.
I'm thinking the whole time when I get pulled over, bro, I'm thinking about my motherfucking wife. I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about my mama. I'm like, yo, like what are they gonna think about this situation? What will they find out about this current situation, knowing that I ain't the type of motherfucker that's gonna cause no ruckus, right? Can I make it home to them? And a white person can't tell me that same situation, they feel that same way for them every time they get pulled over. That's some bullshit, bro.
Absolutely.
So we got to grow up and we got to teach our kids, you know what I'm saying, how to get pulled over, how to put your hands at 10 and 2, how to say yes, sir, no, sir. You know what I'm saying? Put your license in a way where they don't think you're reaching for a gun. All that's bullshit, bro. You know what I mean? That's mentally straining on people, man.
It is.
And we got to deal with that every fucking day that we go outside, man. That shit, yo, crazy.
And like you said, it's PTSD. It's PTSD
Absolutely.
for real.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let me ask you.
We have that as Black people. We have post traumatic stress from just generations, man. Like, I mean, just passed down just from ancestors that we don't even realize. You know what I'm saying? Like, we traumatized like a motherfucker.
Well,
just
my
from
heart
being
rate
Black.
crazy when I see them lights.
Hey, well, speaking of that, I mean, Dale, not to hijack, what's coming up? Because I got a crazy story. What happened to me?
Okay. No. Hold on. We ain't there yet. I guess everybody gave their take on their experience with white folks. Naz, I wanted to hear about the conversation with your neighbor, man. How did that go? I think that's important to share with the people.
It wasn't really with my neighbor. It was with there's this app, like neighborhood app that they have. People in different neighborhoods can communicate. Next door, yeah.
Mr. 3.8K.
And some people had made some statements on it, and I just wanted to. I just felt like it was kind of left up there as a kind of alley-oop. People were like, how do you, I can't imagine what it would be like to, for the police to pull behind me and to have the fear that a Black person has when it happens to them. And so, I just felt, compelled to just give them some insight, where I came from and things that I experienced and what it is like, even that Geno mentioned, just some things that if you really are interested in understanding the plight, start looking up some information on the school to prison pipeline, look up the drug laws, the 3 strikes laws. I mean, all of these things that are what we're saying when we say systematic racism. Like, you can't deny that Black people don't get mortgages, as much as white people. You can't deny that we get killed more than white people. You can't deny that, it's just too many stats, too much information out there for you to not, know that what's happening, what's going on. But if you don't, look at these things and see what you see. And the response was very accepting, and I appreciated it. It was just like, that some people said that was information that I didn't know. Some people said that, they had grown up in very well-respected families that wasn't racist, and they had multicultural neighborhoods, and they never saw, racism. They never saw black people in the light that racist people see black people. And then I heard other people with it, it was crickets. So, it's going to be, the conversation is going to take a while. This is not going to be a one-time, let me holler at you, tell you about the black person plight, and then that conversation is over. This is an ongoing thing. This is going to be an ongoing living organism of conversations and everybody need to be uncomfortable right now. Everybody, myself and black people included, unfortunately, we still got to make ourselves uncomfortable to try to make this conversation be pushed forward, because otherwise it's just all anger. It's just like, fuck you, I ain't, like you said, I don't want to talk to you about it, figure it out. It's going to be some of that, but we have to have some people who are willing to push the conversation needle forward, but that's not a one-time conversation, and nobody's going to figure it out the first time. It's going to be an ongoing living thing.
So, yeah, so we talking about, G made a point about just being traumatized, man, and I think that we all can attest to that. I already know next time I get pulled over, I'm going to be trembling like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? All I'm going to be thinking about is my family, my kids, making sure I can get home to them. Lo, you said that you had an experience to share about being pulled over, man. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, man. So I've had several different run-ins with the law, unfortunately, that, really had nothing to do with me, but my PTSD that really took me over the edge was just as recently as last year. I went to see one of my good friends, like my brother. He's actually in the penitentiary out in by Boston, Massachusetts.
Gosh.
So right. So flew into Boston and, rented a car for a couple of days. And the last day there, I was headed back to just check him out or whatnot. And I'm on the highway and I'm literally on E, like gas tank on E. I passed a trooper going the speed limit because, I wasn't playing up there, none of that. And what happens? He pulls out on me. Boom. I think my plates I was in Massachusetts, but I think I had like New Hampshire tag or something like that. It was a rental car, so what have you. So boom, he pulls me over. So this is about 9 a.m. in the morning. And my first reaction is like, oh my God, I'm out here, in Massachusetts. The whole time I'm out there, I'm in the Uber anyway, just because I ain't want to even have to deal with something like this. And what do you know? 9 a.m., guess we're gonna have this for breakfast. So pulling to the gas station, I was getting off the highway, pulling the gas station, cop behind me. Next thing I know, it's two other cruisers pull up. Boom. I'm like, right then I said, it's either, I'm going to die or I'm going to jail. That's just what it is. I mean, that's my whole thinking. I mean, I'm down there shaking because boom, another cruiser pull up. So they gave me my license registration. The whole time. I mean, I have my hands like this, like, sir. I'm just I don't know what's going on, but I'm just trying. I can't, that's why I said I just want to make it home. Right here in the guy, that's what I said. I said, sir, I just want to make it home. Because I mean, it's so many. It's four cruisers and like six cops, and me. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know where these people came from. It's the middle of nowhere where we're at. Penitentiaries ain't in the city. Like I'm on the outskirts. So, sir, I just want to make it home. That's all I'm saying. So gets me out the car. Takes me over to one of the cruisers. So I'm leaning up on the cruiser the whole time. I'm like this, hands up, because again. I just want to make it home. This man takes all my luggage out. MC, my clothes is on the ground, on the middle of the concrete in the gas station. No exaggeration. I got a hat it's a brand out of Ohio called Tacma. I don't know, it has a T that I wear a lot of times. I haven't heard of this gang. What is this? What gang is this? I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, real deal. Then somebody else pulls up. They start taking apart my rental car. The fender comes off. the spare tire, all this. Yes, breaks my whole rent a car down. I'm like, sir, man, I don't know who you think I am or what's going on, but again, I just want to make it home. You know, I think I just had my son at the time, so I just want to see my family. I was coming here to see a good friend because I was on maternity leave. That's how I got up there. I took the time off, you know, from work just come see one of my good friends. I mean, you know, he's in the penitentiary. I mean, what you got going on? So by this time, to be honest with you, I'm shaking because, you know, I don't think I'm going home. I'm thinking they're going to either plant some dope on me or something. Or,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to say they were going to plan something.
That's what I'm thinking. And my phone, you know, you put your phone in the charger, so I couldn't run back to the car to get my phone, you know, the video recorder stuff. So I'm just here butt naked in the middle of Boston, not on the outskirts of Boston, Massachusetts, like the whole time, like, I just want to make it home, sir. I mean, and just to have to tell this man, sir, so many times, sir, I just want to make it home. Please, I want to see my family. You know what that does to a man,
right?
You know what I mean, like you know what that does to a man that have me. I know I dropped the one or two, like, because I mean, I was scared. I really didn't think. I thought it was over. When you see 6 cruisers, you in the gas station, you know I ain't up to nothing. But it's 9 a.m. in the morning. There's so much other stuff they could be doing, but why are they attacking me? So to this day, man, that I mean, that's probably that was the scariest, probably one of the scariest things that happened to me with the law enforcement. And let me say this, you know what I'm saying? I've told y'all this before, you know, my brother-in-law, he's a cop. My pop's a cop. My step-pop's a cop, all Cincinnati Police Department. I mean, I come from a cop family, and you know, and they'll tell you when you get pulled over by the cops how to act. So if they tell you this, you know what I mean, my God, man, it's something wrong. But I mean, that still hits me to this day. You know what I mean? Just even thinking about that takes me there. But hey, I made it home. You know what I'm saying? I was so happy. You get on that plane, you get home, and listen, I told my man, bro, I'll see you when you get out, because I ain't never come back to Boston.
Right. Thank God, man. Thank God. And it's a shame that we have to give glory to God that you just made it home from being interacting with the police. And let this be a message to any of our white listeners. This is common for the black man. Each and every one of us. I don't have to ask any of them, but I guarantee you that each one of these brothers, if I go across the board, that they've had a similar experience with the police, man. And that's just and I don't think that white people realize this. They're in their own bubbles. They just don't, man. So it's frustrating. You know, like I have my own practice. When I get pulled over, like straight up, when I get pulled over, my wallet is on the dash, my insurance, my registration is on the dash. I put my hands on the wheel. I spread both of my hands on the wheels and I spread my fingers. So I don't have any reason to reach for anything or for them to suspect anything. Now, this may be extreme to the common person who's not black, but for us, this is a reality. This is what we have to do just to make it home. So,
hey, Dale, hey, just to add to that, man, I was raised, you know, the same way, bro. Like my pops used to always tell me, hey, man, and I mean, and this is for our audience, for all the black young men out there, man. If you're gonna be riding around, at least be riding around legit. Make sure your registration paid up. You got insurance on your vehicle. Make sure them tags is right, man. Because
don't give them an excuse. Yeah.
Don't give them no excuse to pull you over. And you end up the statistic just because they have probable cause to do anything. But the sad thing about what we're talking about is, I mean, a lot of these instances, a lot of these guys, they legit driving around. They just getting fucked with, like Dale said, which is even sadder. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, the shit is sad, man. It just disturbs me. Like my only altercation with some cops that I can remember that was very, very, very traumatic to me was actually in Chicago when I was a teenager. Me and 3 of my friends, we were going to the ATM, and we was on Seaway National Bank on 87th Street. And, you know, for the audience, we're not just talking about one colored cop. We talking about all cops. because we got pulled over by some detectives, and they pretty much, man, this, you know, their intent was to mess with us. So we all in the car, and I mean, it was sad. Like, 2 of the cops was black, another one was like Italian, and you know, we had on fresh sneakers and all that. And I mean, you know, one of my friends, he had a little issue with his throat. He had a lot of mucus in his system, so he had to spit. So he ended up spitting, and one of the cops got mad and was like, "Yo, hey man, why you spit?" And he tried to tell him, like, "Man, you know, I got allergies, and you know what I'm saying, I got a lot of mucus in my throat. I needed to just, you know, clear my throat." And I never forget, man, this dude pretty much pulled him off the car and spit right in his face and spit on his shoe right in front of us. And he wanted us to react a certain way so they can have a reaction. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just sad how our interactions with law enforcement it could go sideways real quick. And a lot of law enforcement folks, they like to provoke things because, again, whatever's going on in their life or how they talk to police us can be a factor too. So
yeah, the whole purpose is these prisons, bro. Like this, like we can't get beyond the fact that, like, why are they doing it? It's a reason why they doing it. They got prisons that have to be filled. These prisons they don't have stores, they don't have Targets for people not to be in there buying them. They don't have Polo for people not to be out there buying it. They got prisons on NASDAQ, bro. Like these, they have to be filled, and they filled with people who are not even violent offenders. And I don't want to jump on your
go. We could
like,
go, baby. Big business.
This is the plan, man. This is like, lock them up, and even though they ain't violent offenders, we gonna get you on whatever. We'll trump up the charges. We'll kick your light out. We'll throw a little dope underneath your tire, something to get you in jail. Once you get in jail, you got to get a probation officer or parole officer and try to get the hell off of probation or parole if you want to. It's just a cycle of just making sure that those beds is always filled. And so they'll do whatever they can to make sure that we in it.
That's a fact.
Everybody in bed together, man. They all in cahoots, from the prosecutors to the lawyers to the judge.
Oh man.
So listen. This is excellent segue. Nash, you wanted to know if I can motherfucking handle this shit, nigga? I'm going, baby. Let's go. So listen. So when we on that wave, when we talking about filling prisons and we talking about systematic racism, I wanna segue to something that I think is very relative to this conversation. I mean, your shirt says equality. In my opinion, I think equality is bullshit. I don't believe in equality. I think that it's an exaggeration. It sounds great, but I don't think that it's realistic. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel like the oppressors have so much power, and we think that they are just on the plight to just capitalize and just make money. Well, I think that their plight is to maintain power. So when we talk about equality, and that's what everybody's trying to that's the energy that people are having with talking about equality and whatnot. Do we think, because the only way that we can truly have equality is if that power gets broken down, means that the people in power need to give up some of their power. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So the question is, hold on, man. So the question is, whites' willingness to give up their power. Is this a reality or is this a pipe dream? What y'all think?
Whoa. I mean, I don't think they're willing to give up their power. I think
but they have to. If equality, there's no such thing as equality if they don't let up on some of the power that they have.
Well, I was gonna say, in order for them to understand, they have to go through what we've went through, which probably will never happen for them. I mean, the karma card, I mean, it ain't really playing in our favor because they've done so much to not just blacks but just minorities. Period. That, I mean, I don't know if they ever would give up power. But again, like Dave Chappelle probably had one of the greatest skits on his shows you know, when he was the milkman and he was delivering it to the nigger family, right?
Yeah.
You know, and some of those lines in that skit, you know, it was crazy because if it was really a white family named nigger, I mean, would they be focused on, or would they be ridiculed and judged like if we were called niggas like we are? You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think that they're gonna be willing to give up their power, because I mean, the system has been designed for them for so long. They comfortable. I don't even know they wouldn't even know how to feel to give up their power. I mean, they'll be committing suicide if they had to give up their power. Believe that.
Yeah.
So when you say equality, like, because to me that isn't realistic, man. Because we ain't gonna truly have equality unless they give up some of that power, man. So I mean,
unless we burn it all up, like Lo say.
All right,
burn it
down. Ahead,
please.
I just say I don't. That's in order for things to be equal, everything has to be torn down. I don't literally mean torn down as far as physically, but torn down from a mental standpoint of how you view everybody. And they don't view everybody like them. So it's kind of like y'all can be equal. Their version of equality is y'all can be equal amongst yourselves. We don't fit in that. So to them, there is equality. We're just not a part of that equation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that'll ever be that, because like Mean said, from the beginning, it was designed for them to control and run everything. Everything. And even now, with a lot of races have made strides in their advancement, they're still light years ahead as far as what they control. They control some of the most important elements of our lives, man. The banking system, the judicial system. They control those areas.
And power.
So it ain't gonna be equal, you know. So, but if there's gonna be any chance of any equality, I think it comes down to putting people in position to affect the change. So that means voting for these judges, for these district attorneys. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's what they do, they put the people that speak for them in those positions, and they can control outcomes. They can control the end game, you know. And if we don't have anybody in position to do that, there is going to be no equality.
So you in favor that this is a pipe dream?
Yeah, right there. Would you give up power? Like who?
Hell no.
Right. So like, what is like? I was confused at the question, like, because.
Well, so the reason of the question is because I'm not buying all of these conversations around equality, because the bigger picture in this is, how are we going to truly have equality if somebody's not willing to give up their power? So it's just like, so let's stop the equality talk, because that's not realistic.
Right. What's happening is equality, no, but making us more comfortable in our current situation is what's happening. That's what's happening. They're shifting it to caring a little bit more, making us feel a little bit better, and a little bit more welcomed. That's what's happening. Equality means equal, 50-50, or however the equation splits amongst all races. And no, they're not ready for that. A simple answer.
That's what I'm saying. Like, stall me out with all of that until you start talking policy change. Stall me out on all this other stuff, bro. Stall me out on everything else that they trying to peddle us, instead of what really needs to happen. Some of the things that you can actually do right now that don't take having 20 years to get people in the right place is just changing some of these ridiculous policies that got their thumb on our heads. Like, you don't have to do a whole lot. Change the drug laws. You know that they unfair. Change them now. Let these guys out of prison, right? clear they record so they can get a job and take care of the families that you swear are being abandoned, that you meant for them to be abandoned.
Because
like, come on, man, you talking with a double tongue with me with that stuff. Like, it's like you saying one thing but meaning a whole nother thing. If you really, we got to get these policies changed. Until there will never be equality until on the books, everybody's shit should look the same.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're on mute, dog. I want you to get your point in. I think you're on mute.
So look, it's gonna take a while for the policies to change, man. Again, we talking about the system. We talking about how we're governed in America. I mean, it's a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, policy change will take a couple of generations before we can get equal. I mean, let's just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, but you can make changes right now that can affect change right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I ain't talking. The effects was gonna take a long time. The conversation is gonna take years, centuries. But right now, you can start letting black and brown people out of jail for petty drug crimes. Yeah. You can stop putting these people in prison for 5 to 10 years for petty drug crimes. You can stop doing that for people who got mental health issues, locking them up in prison because you done close all of the mental health facilities all over the country. Come on, man. This shit that can be done right now to to start the process of showing your true diligence towards equality.
My brother Nas, man, that's the November shit, man. He be helping me transition.
Hey, man,
segments, dog. He do. He really
hey,
do.
Dale. Hey, Dale. Well, I gotta go back to a low quote. Can we trust Whitey to be on board and doing that? I mean, we can put up the effort and put forth the initiative and you know, protest and all this other stuff, but is Whitey really gonna be on board to be there with us and be equal with us?
That's my
the whole
question.
thing.
That's my question.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to understand. Because I mean, like, because you know, I get it, and I'm proud of the white people that are out on the front lines marching and everything. But I think they need to understand what really is needed in the long game here, man. The long game is, man, you got to free up some of that power, man. Like that's just it. And I just don't know how if they willing to do that.
1% ain't giving up the power.
I was about to say that, Nas.
I mean, you talking about like your neighbor, your suburban neighbor who willing to like step down off of a board so a black person.
PTA, right, the PTA. Right.
I'm talking about the 1%. They coming at us, bro. So
listen,
kicking the door.
They've been in power since BC days. Right. They ain't coming back. And I ain't talking about Corona. And I ain't talking about before Corona.
Listen, but you know, I'm gonna use Nas as a segue. But you know, to a point that I've always tried to promote and advocate on this cast, man. Own your own, man. If you own your own, you got your own space. Then we got power within us in what we own and what we doing together collectively as a people. So Nas made some good points talking about, you know, just what I call, you know, symbolic change and symbolic support. Y'all, the fuck? What happened?
No, you good.
You good, Dale?
The fuck happened? Hold on, man. My bad. There's something on my end.
Special shout out to everybody that's tuned in live on IG with us. We got a good following on IG Live right now. You know, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the anchor link on our bio. And go ahead, Dale. Continue.
Shout out to my brother, man, my big brother Von Juan.
I don't want to put him on blast. Dale got Gary in the building. Shout out to Gary, Indiana.
219, we in the fish. What up?
Hey, they all up in the joint.
Proud representative.
Hold on.
Very
proud. From Gary?
Shut up, nigga. So I want to segue, man. Nas he brought up a good point where I talk about what I consider as symbolic change, and it's not legislative change. That's the real change that I want to see. So I want to get y'all's opinion on what's been happening recently with these corporations and these organizations now all of a sudden supporting black people, the black plight. You know, you've seen, and matter of fact, we're gonna go directly to a conversation in the chat that I said we was gonna table. We were talking about Nike and other corporations acknowledging Juneteenth as a holiday. Personally, I think that's cool. I think any support is cool, but I don't see that as a major win. That's not anything that I'm about to shed a tear for or think that, you know, something has really happened, because to me, that's just symbolic change. You know what I'm saying? Like what I see as real change is legislative change. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do to get these brothers out of prison? What we gonna do to keep these brothers from getting killed when they get pulled over? What's gonna put my mind at ease when I interact with the police? And a company recognizing Juneteenth ain't enough.
I ain't saying, but bro, it ain't enough, but it is moving towards change. This shit,
right? I said that it's something, but I'm not. I'm not going over the rug
either, though, man. That's how, you know. That's a kind of.
I'm not dismissing it. I just said I'm not going crazy over it.
It's counterproductive, bro. Like, we asking for something for them to do something, and in their power, in their company, they made that a national day, you know what I mean, a holiday for their and
Christmas.
That's something to hang your hat on, bro.
That's cool. Again, that's cool. But listen,
I'm not saying you jump for joy and it's changed our lives, but you do got to encourage more shit like that, because that right there can maybe affect somebody else to do something else major that may go out in there and help us change the legislation. What you're looking for is a longer play.
The avalanche. We got a snowflake going right now.
I mean, stop doing that, bro.
Let's be clear. No, I'm not saying that that's bad, G. I'm not saying.
I'm not saying you said it's bad. The way you lobbed it, it's terrible. That's just my opinion.
Well, to me, I mean, it's not anything for me to jump for joy about. I mean, it's cool.
But hold on, Dale.
I get it. I just think it's counterproductive.
But I tell you what something else, something that stood out more to me was Serena Williams' husband. That brother, what he did was.
What did he do?
He's the chairperson for Reddit. He stepped down and he says, I'm donating $1 million to a Black Lives organization. And not only am I stepping down, but I'm stepping down for what? For a black person to fill my spot. That's the fucking change that I'm talking about. Like, that's something for me.
So what you're talking about? What you're talking about?
That's something to applaud more than just a holiday.
That's two. What you're doing, which is beautiful, but again, if we're being honest, $1 million ain't nothing but a drop in the bucket, right? No. If I do what you're doing, if I do what you're doing, right, which is minimizing somebody's effort to try to make change in their own right, then where are we landing? I mean, because to be honest with you, I would jump for joy more than about the Nike situation, because that's affecting thousands of employees versus one person.
And it's ongoing.
Life.
That's what I'm saying. So what
I'm not saying that, again, I never said, I never said that it was a bad thing. I never said.
I'm not saying you said it was a bad thing. When I'm telling you the energy behind how you lobbed it, it's terrible, bro. That's my point.
Look, I mean, it's a holiday. I mean, and I get it.
Okay.
I mean, and that's cool.
Dale,
but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you like. Hold on. Go for it.
Okay, so Dale, you understand? You want legislative change and all this stuff.
Yes.
Like big changes. Absolutely, we all want that. I guarantee we all want that. But at the same time, if today is Sunday, so that doesn't happen. You know, after a week after protests and riots, things like that. You know, it's like these people went in the boardroom, had crisis. You know, people on scene, like, you know what, we have to make an impact. We have to do something to show we support the plight of our black, brown brothers and sisters. We have to do something, and they put up a national holiday as big as Santa. That is huge, man. We're not going to downplay this at all. That is a huge move. There's only
it's
only 8 holidays on a calendar year that you get paid for or get acknowledged of, just to, you know, show respect for that actual holiday out of 365 days out the year. That is absolutely huge. It hasn't happened since when?
I just don't. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I mean, I'm just not.
You're not.
I'm not buying into this. That this is huge. This is good.
Let me tell you why it's huge.
This is
Let me tell you why it's
productive.
huge. Because what you're talking about, the person that you was jumping for joy, there's two things. Again, I don't want to knock this situation because I don't want to be counterproductive. But he's rich as fuck, and he's married to a black woman that he has a kid by. And that's also a fucking almost a billionaire herself. So what are you saying? $1 million is nothing to him.
We talking about?
Hold on. Then what you're saying is, what I'm saying is, an organization as powerful as Nike, it's only 3 companies that is big as Nike that you can really out in marketing wise. Listen, so if Nike goes out there being one of, if not the biggest, if not bigger than Apple, I don't know, but let's just say they count up, they're similar. If they go out there and do that, and another company that's similar to size like Apple decides to make Juneteenth a national holiday and people get paid for and leave off of, you, like you said earlier, it's off influence. And Nike has a beautiful influence, bro. So if Nike goes out and get another Fortune 500 company, then another one, and then every company starts to do that, that's impacting thousands of people's houses, bro. That's more impactful than one person.
Listen, I'm not knocking.
Hold on,
G. No, hold on, man. I'm not knocking that this is productive. That's all it is. It's productive. I'm just saying, like, I'm not about to shed a tear that this is huge. Because guess what? You know what another holiday is that corporations that I work for acknowledge?
Right.
Christopher Columbus. And that shit don't mean nothing to me. It doesn't. Like, so all it is just a holiday.
That's true.
That's all it is a holiday. Like, come on, man. Like, I want to jump for joy when there's big change. I'm sorry I didn't lob this the way to y'all's liking, but it's just not that big to me. I mean, it's productive. I'll give it a round of applause, but that's it.
So I'm gonna say this. How many? Look, this is a quick head count. How many of y'all knew about Juneteenth? I guess within the last 5 years. Be honest.
Absolutely, we have marches. Sawyer Point, bro.
We didn't celebrate it like that growing up, but yeah.
So I mean, maybe I'm the oddball, but I mean, Juneteenth in Chicago really wasn't celebrated like that. I mean, don't judge me, audience, but I'm just saying. I can kind of feel what Dale's saying.
It's more common in southern states.
It wasn't celebrated where I was at, but I knew about the history of it.
Right. It's more common in the southern states.
Let's not make a blanket statement about our city, though. Let's make it not a blanket statement about our city. Right. It may not be in our school systems and stuff like that, but there are people in Chicago that understood Juneteenth. And I understood it because of my uncle.
Okay.
So long before I got to Wilberforce in the high school, I had an uncle that's pro. Hold on, let me finish. That's righteous, right? That reads, that gives me books for me to understand my history. So it's an individual situation to help move what we've been talking about, and move your lineage and your family along. And that's the move that has to happen. But we can't make a blanket statement about Chicago, bro. We can't. We're being irresponsible with our platform if we do that.
Oh no, I wasn't saying it like that. But what I'm saying is, I mean, it wasn't really celebrated like that. I'm just saying for me. That's all. So I'll take the Chicago component out. But I mean, we didn't really celebrate Juneteenth like that. Now, it is a win that it is being recognized more, I guess, prevalent than it was before. Because I mean, we don't get too many holidays on the 12-month calendar. We only got 1 month, which is February, and that's the shortest month on the damn calendar. So I mean, maybe we do need to ride the Juneteenth wave a little harder. You know what I'm saying? But Dale, I mean, the alley-oop thing. I mean, you could have worded it better. That's all I'm saying. It's the way it came out. But
that's all I'm saying. If you expect Jordan or LeBron or whoever that is, and I'm not speaking to you, Dale, I'm just saying most people are moved by celebrity and influence. Period. And I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying how fucked up this world is. Most things are moved by power and celebrity. And if you telling me one of the top 5 companies doing something like that is not nothing to jump about, when they can possibly influence other Fortune 500 companies to follow their lead, man, that's like you missing out. You missing out on how that can affect everybody and all these people and all these families is working for these companies. If you're not playing chess to look forward and to see how that can affect us like that, bro.
See, but you good for calling out when somebody misconstrue words, bro. And I don't want that to be misconstrued. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that this is a bad thing.
That's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying.
But no.
I want to let you finish, but I want to make sure you understand that I was never saying that you were saying it was a bad thing. I never said that. Okay.
But y'all talking down on the way that I said it or whatever. I started out by saying this is a good thing. Whatever. I started out by saying that this is a good thing. So when we talk about one company doing this, that's different than a snowball effect and everybody else doing it. Like, I get it, man. Like, it's cool that we
backed it up. You backed it up with one person. That's why I went into broke it down. You backed it up by saying that you were more moved by a millionaire that's married to a black superstar that he has to do something. You know what I mean? Like, you can't back that statement up and then follow it up.
Hey, Jay, go ahead, Jay.
So I think it's major because most of these corporations have one of their PR people write up something for their social network website. Boom. Something very profound and prophetic and make it sound really good. And they put soft music in the background, and that's all that they're going to do. Okay. So Nike said they spoke and then put action behind the words. And like what G said, what could happen is that's a major company. If another major company like that, you never know, this could end up being a national holiday, that's always recognized. Now, it's not the end game. But it is a major start because there was a time where people weren't even talking about that holiday at all. You know what I'm saying? I know black people that don't even know what Juneteenth is. So
that was my point.
For them, you never know. Nike could start making some apparel with Juneteenth on it now with a Nike logo. That's going to spread all over the place. That will cause people maybe to look up the meaning for it, where it stands about freedom being ended in slavery here in Ohio. It originated in Texas back in 1865. That's where Juneteenth started, and it has spread. Some states recognize it, some don't. But this is a start, and because the thing is, I want to see action behind some of these companies. Everybody, there's a lot of ways to get it done, and that was Nike's way of showing their respect and honor for their black employees and the black culture as a whole by doing this. Like, you know what? We're going to
it's to pay holiday.
You don't have to work. That's huge.
Hey, hold on. Even by Nike being a retailer, who do y'all think their biggest consumer is? Us. We are Nike. Man, they're huge, bro.
I'm sorry. I mean,
and the same company that's been backing Kaepernick from beginning. They've been on they've been backing Cap since the beginning, bro. You can't. That's what I'm saying. We'll be irresponsible, and that's all I'm saying to you, Dale. Is we can't be irresponsible, in my opinion, with the shit that is happening. That could be major moves. That's what I'm saying. I think when you said that, you're not thinking about how it affects other companies in their potential. In addition to the entire time, they was getting, if you remember when that Cap shit came out and they ran that fucking ad, motherfuckers was burning Nikes. They came for their ass, but they stood strong, bro. And like Jason said, this is my last thing on it. Yeah, that's cool. We throw a lob. They come out with a soft message, dope commercial, because I know everybody's seen them commercials recently. Then after that, they came with fucking action, bro. That's how they can impact it. They can't go. They don't make policy. So what's the best thing that you can do in your power within your company to affect change for black people? And they put their fucking money where their mouth is.
Hey, shout out to
no.
Hey, shout out to Converse.
I gotta answer that because he's questioning me. I'm gonna answer that. Just what I've been saying earlier. If y'all want to practice equality, then practice that shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to see more people. Somebody fact check whatever. I want to see who's the chair people at Nike. How many of them motherfuckers is black? And this ain't just to Nike. This is to everybody. This is to the NFL now trying to say that they support black people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what this whole segment is about. The segment is do Black Lives Matter or does black marketing matters? I'm not buying all of this support just for people to have commercials and shit to say that they.
But you just said you contradicting yourself, brother. You said earlier when you got on here that you about to go buy up all the fucking Black Lives Matter shit. That's all that is marketing.
No,
ain't that what you said?
If I'm buying,
ain't that what you said?
If I'm buying black merchandise, I'm not just saying on the front end that I'm supporting black businesses.
People are profiting off this money, bro.
I'm giving
that's
black
what's
people,
happening.
That's cool, but I'm just saying, G, that's not enough for me. I feel like personally, the end game here needs to be bigger than just somebody.
We're not talking about.
I'm not talking about the end game. I'm not just singling out Nike. I'm saying everybody.
The end game. We're talking about 1 week into it. We're talking about 1-2 weeks into the whole unrest. That's what we're talking about.
And I think that's what makes it huge.
Right, Dale.
Why do I have what reason do I have to believe that these people are really behind the long game of black people? You know what I'm saying? We just saw Roger Goodell come out and say, hold on, we just seen Roger Goodell come out and say, yo, I support Kaepernick. We were wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, like, come on, man. Like,
I think to answer that question,
I don't take every. I'm not taking nothing.
Now, hold up. I gotta say this. Hold up. Y'all been talking. Let me say something. So look, what I'm saying is it's major because one thing that white people like is their money. They're willing to give people some money for not doing nothing. I'm gonna pay you to be at home. That's major to me. And they got a bunch of employees, and I think they did something now. Like, okay, we're going to talk and we're going to make something happen right now. Something that can be done now. So that means next year in 2021, they're going to be off. This Friday, they're going to be off of work. This coming Friday, amidst everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying? They did some change now. So I think it was very effective. And it was Nike is extremely recognizable. You know what I mean? And they put it out there. And let's give me another company that's done something to that effect, up to something that is affecting change now. Give me another company right now that's doing something besides one of these bullshit ass statements online.
That's I'll just caveat. Just
that's the point.
That's that visible as Nike. Nobody.
Right. Someone like a Microsoft or an Apple or a Target or something like that, where everybody from Cali to Boston knows, and that's what Nike is. They're a global company. Give me another global company, you know what I'm saying, that's in America that's done something now besides something on their social media page.
Yeah, or like Walmart.
Hey, I'm still waiting on Walmart.
Crickets.
Hey, shout out to Converse, because we can't leave Nas out this conversation. Shout out to Converse. They're part of the Nike conglomerate, and they're part of that movement.
All Nas here is when we say Nike sneakers.
No, he say tennis shoes.
Tennis shoes, my bad. Tennis shoes.
All right, so No, go ahead, Fees.
No, that's it. I just said. I mean, I've ever heard. Ain't no other company done nothing besides, making a statement online. And I feel like Nike.
Twitter came out and said Twitter's doing it too. Twitter is acknowledging Juneteenth. So,
wait a minute, hold on, Dale.
After what?
Are they?
After Nike did it,
and that's what we said.
Right, I was about to say that.
Thank you.
But wait, one more thing though. And Jason's point was this: are they willing to pay that payroll? Because you got to think Nike got a lot of employees globally, right? Bro. You talking about that's a paid vacation day on their overhead, on their operating costs.
Hold on, that. Hey, mean. How about this? That wasn't even in the budget this year. So
right.
Listen, it's huge.
That's huge. Because look, we don't even know that number may be more than $100 million. You never know.
Oh, I'm sure it is, bro.
Yeah.
Hold up. Let's break it down. If everybody works at least 8 hours per fucking day, come on, bro. From the retail motherfucker all the way up to the executive, that's gotta be over. That's probably over a couple hundred, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So let me
Hold on.
That's a
let me
paid.
ask y'all
That's
this.
a paid holiday.
Not even.
Let me ask y'all this.
Budget.
Let me ask y'all this: Are y'all bothered by any of I guess like support for blacks that seem like trendy, or y'all just like
that? Yes, I am. Yes.
okay.
Name some G. Name some G.
I don't like G speaking on that. Anybody else speak on it? I want to know how y'all feel, because that's what I'm taking on this. I look at everything long game. Like I don't like looking at shit short term. So like it seems like a trend to me. But somebody else go on. I spoke enough on this.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, a trend with anything else. I mean, that's what's hot. Let's be honest. I mean, if it was the cool thing to wear your hat or cool thing to tuck your shirt in, I mean, some people is going to ride the wave just to get likes and get the followers up. And you saw. I don't know if you saw, but some people were out there protesting, hopping out the car with a sign or something, Black Lives Matter sign, just to get a picture for the Instagram, hopping back in the whip. So some people
I saw that.
I know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, that's any situation. This thing right here, people are in it to win it, man. I mean, you cannot tell me people are not in it to win it. Unfortunately, you're gonna have them people like that in any situation. But I think right now, the mass is bigger than that petty stuff, man. The mass is bigger than that petty stuff.
Everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got no agreement. I mean, I was gonna bring up Ben and Jerry's, and some of our audience on live IG, they was talking about Ben and Jerry's. I mean, Ben and Jerry's, would you consider them for the movement? I mean, they named the ice cream after the Black Lives Matter.
That's dope.
I'm gonna play advocate. They go back to Dale's point. Are they really with the wave, or are they just trying to get black dollars and market their product?
Ben and Jerry was marching. I ain't been out marching.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a product. It's a product. You know what I'm saying? That will always be seen and maybe spark some questions. And you know how sometimes they even put the little blurbs on the ice cream, so it might explain. You never know. That might prompt them to any proceeds based off that particular product. They may kick that back, to some black empowerment, social injustice organizations and whatnot. I don't know if they will, but hopefully they're listening and hear about this podcast, and maybe they will. But I think it's huge. I feel like, with so many companies not doing anything or haven't said what they've done, at least at this point, they put themselves out there to do something. Right now, in the midst of everything going on, they did something. Because again, back to what Lo said, it wasn't no production for making those cups that had the name of that ice cream on it. So what is it called? It's called empowerment. Is that what it's called? Yeah, empowerment.
Right, it was empowerment.
Right,
yeah.
They didn't have no production for that a month ago.
Right.
So that means they called somebody like, hey, they called their marketing team and their design team like, hey, I need a design by yesterday. And then I'm gonna call the warehouse. I need this shit made tomorrow. We need to put this shit out ASAP.
That's cool.
Stop what you're doing. Stop them other projects. This is what we're doing with this new empowerment. Well, what does that mean, sir? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna send you the email. Just do it. And that's what happened. That's something that they did in their lane. And I think that's the thing. People have to do what's within their lane, So, and I think that's what they're doing.
Look, man, I just hope that all of these companies aren't on the trend and just on the wave. I hope that everybody keep that same energy. Come a couple months from now, years from now, I pray that y'all still riding for us then like y'all riding for us right now. That's all I want. That's it. You know what I'm saying? End of the day, that's all I want. Nike, NFL, Twitter, and these ain't just these corporations. These are all the other corporations. I seen Disney with a Black Lives Matter commercial. I seen all of these different corporations with commercials. And if y'all gonna ride for people, man, really ride for them, man. Put some people in them seats. Let's really have a seat at the table. You know what I'm saying? That's how you really make effective change. That's the change that I know is going to sustain for years and decades to come, when you got people that look like us in them board meetings, man. So that's cool. I'm sorry I offended you Nike folks. Don't get me wrong. I love my tech fleece. Matter of fact, I got
Checks over stripes.
I got on my tech
That's
fleece
what we like.
right now. I love my Nike gear. So trust and believe. I want Nike.
Shout out to Converse for Manasseh. He's a part of the conversation.
Hey, listen, all I gotta say is check them campaign dollars.
Word.
Check to see where the campaign dollars.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you see where somebody's real support is, man. You check that motherfucking paper trail, man.
Two things could be true. Two things could be true. Two things could be true. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
Go.
You know what I mean?
So, okay, hold on. So I got a question then, and I don't know if this was a part of our segment because it's some social media posts out here talking about campaign dollars going to a certain campaign, right? And I don't want to put people on blast, but everybody love eating Chick-fil-A, right?
Boy, hey, man.
Look at low.
I'll be honest with you. Hey.
Yeah. I ain't hear Chick-fil-A saying nothing about no Juneteenth. Chick-fil-A ain't got no Juneteenth barbecue sauce or nothing.
That's sriracha. I can't give it the sriracha.
Juneteenth barbecue sauce.
I tell my daughter she can't go to Chick-fil-A's, man. This is gonna be problems around here, man.
Hey, some things off limits, man. No, man.
Come on, Lo. Hold on, man. Hey, look. Nas got a point, man. They ain't said. Look, Starbucks and Chick-fil-A ain't said shit.
You know where they said. You know where
Starbucks definitely said something. Hey. Starbucks said, "Don't bring that shit in here." They said, "Black Lives Matters in here." Then hit a Deion Sanders. 2 days later, y'all can wear that. Don't worry about it. Y'all can wear that.
Quick question, y'all. Can we segue to the questions from the fans or the supporters?
Let's do that.
All right, I got one. I got my Asian boy that's been rocking with us for the last hour and however long. Hey, Dominic, I appreciate you being in my live. He's on my Facebook Live, and he has a question for us. He says, what do you think are a few realistic goals that can be accomplished by the end of this month?
By the end of the what, G?
By the end of this month.
Regarding what though? Like realistic goals as far as what?
I'm assuming since we're talking about the protests, unless he changes, he adds that to that. I'll center it around the protest. What are some realistic goals, considering that we're out protesting, for us by the end of the month?
Legislatively, nothing.
I think what we're seeing as far as even what happened in Atlanta, where the mayor fires the chief of police, and there's got to be just like some very direct policy things being at least talked about. Like they have to be in a room somewhere right now discussing how we can stop. I mean, Mayor Cuomo even has been on the forefront of trying to pass legislation in New York as far as making sure that police officers have certain things that they can't do. Like you can't shoot somebody in the back when they fleeing. You can't, like, putting it in the books, in the law, so that we understand that there's a clear-cut understanding. I think unless there's some type of policy changing conversation where we're writing stuff in as we're talking, I don't know what else we can do. Everything else is Band-Aid on bullet wounds. We need to stop being treated like we're not human. And the only way we can do that is to rewrite the laws that didn't have us on the books in the first place. These laws were never meant for us. We were added on to it. And so we have to change all of that. And that's not an easy fix. I understand that. I know that. And you're saying in the next month, I don't have the, other than mobilize, talking to each other, making sure we got all of our ducks in a row, who we voting for, what we gonna do if we don't get the vote we want. Like, all of those things have to be put into place, but policy change for me, man. It's gotta be
Policy change. Okay, so that's a longer play. Any things that we can possibly come out of this by the end of the month with, guys? Thoughts?
Dale's brother said reparations. How do y'all feel about reparations?
Man, hold on, Von, chill out, man.
That's not going to happen by the end of this month.
No, man.
Yeah, not by the end of the
Well,
month.
no. I mean, it could not being solved by the end of the month. But I mean, it can
Well,
start.
I mean, well, I would love
policy
to
that
try to
could
keep it focused on the question.
Right, yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
If we can keep it focused on the question, that would be great. So,
I was going
Which
to say,
question?
Steve, I was going to say,
just like basically, like, what are some things that we can have by the end of the month? It's either y'all got a list of them, or we don't think nothing's gonna happen by the end of the month.
I got something.
All right, go ahead.
Am I on? I'm on? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, by the end of the month, I would say, well, what we need to do is get familiar with our local legislators. You know,
Okay.
people who are running for office, people who are, campaigning and possibly join. Look at the different policies and hop on one of those campaigns. You know, use your social media, use your sweat equity, maybe pass out some flyers, but get involved in your local government. I mean, I think everybody can do that, and that can really affect change the quickest. You know, and really you can have a voice. You know, in those city council meetings. You know, with your family in those areas. You know, you can have your own little army, but I would say that'll be your biggest thing this month that can affect some change.
All right. And we have another question. If there was an organized revolution, who exactly are we going after?
That's a good question.
Are we going after?
That's a hell of a question.
Who we going after?
I would say,
Man. Go ahead and say it, Lo.
Right on. I would just say, man, I'll say I'll be broad with this government. We keep talking about legislation, things like that. I would say just the government and the laws that are holding us down. You know, as a people, as a black and brown people. I would say just these laws, and like we hit on that legislation, but to be professional, but like that.
Shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree. Legislation, that's the real change to me, man. So.
Okay.
Man, I mean, yeah, we said government, legislation. I mean, does it have to be a person? Can we say a person?
I think what they're asking for, and I think more specifically, they said bang bang. So a revolution, I think they're meaning like truly going after somebody to take out.
That's why I said government.
Whoa. Let me retract that. Whoa.
Well, we're not going to promote violence, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hypothetically, the question was if. It was hypothetically if we had a form of organized revolution, who are we taking out? That's a question. That's a question from the live, not from us.
I don't think that there's a particular person. I think that the only way that we can hurt what's happening to us is to mobilize, which is get I think honestly, like financially is the only way that we can hurt them without there being bloodshed. Like we have to pull our money out from these major corporations and we have to put them back into the black community. That's the only way that we really make them say, wait a minute, like, wait, hold up. Like this ain't making sense. Like that's the only way we get them to the table, because we got to hurt financially. Come on, man. We talking about food and stuff like that. Like we holding these places up. We literally are building their foundations for them to have yachts and multiple. I mean, I talk about the Popeyes chicken sandwich, but I mean, we $65 million on a chicken sandwich. Like we gotta mobilize these dollars and stop sending it outside of the black community. And I'm just as at fault as anybody else, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not acting like I'm some kind of pro-black and don't wear nothing. No, Polo, Nautica, all this stuff that we swear that, you know, that we like be dripped out in. We got to stop pumping that money into these organizations. And that's the only way they're going to feel some pressure for them to actually come to the table and be like, all right, hold on, wait a minute. Otherwise, yeah, we got to go up into the White House with some guns and try to take over the White House. But that ain't going to stop what's going to happen because Bush, Trump ain't the person who in control. It's the elite, the 1%. And you don't even know who them people look like. The Rothschilds and all them, they could walk right by you in the street today. You wouldn't even know who they was. So it ain't like there's a bullet that can fix this. We got to do it by taking our pride back, knowing our value, taking our money and saying, fuck you. You know what? Let's build our own grocery stores, get our farmers back to work, put our black people back to work in the community, and give them the dollars to make what we need so we don't got to wait for them to come save the day again.
Hey, Chick-fil-A ain't got nothing to do with all that. So I'm saying, leave Chick-fil-A alone.
Hey, but no, Nas, you strategically talking about the financial institutions and Wall Street, pretty much, because I mean that's who handling the money. That's what the majority of your 1% is. So you talking about
Wall Street. They the ones that squandered all of the money and jacked it off and still got the bailouts. They the ones that get all of the tax breaks. And there's one person, no bullet that can kill them. That's just legacy. That's just, you know what I mean? We can't go guns a blazing to do that. But we can stop telling these motherfuckers to stop killing us. These police to stop killing us. And that it might be your life and not mine if you pull me over with them shenanigans. Like, that's where I feel like we at. Like, there's certain things that you gotta take into consideration at this point in time in life. And it's not comfortable for any of us.
Right. I'll say this, though. If we talking about taking Trump out, please understand, we take Trump out, who's the next man up. Yeah, I better be scared of that man, Mike Pence. That's all I'm going to say. Listen, from Indiana. Listen, Trump might be the person you want right now if we got to have him in there.
Trump ain't it. Trump just.
I'm saying Mike Pence is dangerous, man.
It ain't even that. It's what. All he is a spokesperson for what they feel. That's why he got the following. It ain't just him. Yeah, it's the person next door. They love what he said.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man. I appreciate this, man. A lot of emotions went into this. We shared some stories that I feel like should resonate with some people, especially to the uninitiated, those that don't know. I hope this was enlightening to y'all, so this was a blessing, man. I'm glad to see you, brothers. Glad that everybody's well. But you know what it is, man. PCP, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend, man. If you don't know, man, come fuck with us and get a fix. PCP boys, man. We out of here.
Yes, sir. You can find us on all streaming platforms for your podcast. Apple, Spotify, Anchor is where we're pushing y'all to, so y'all can make a donation, so we can keep this thing going. And I want to say great job to our host today, Dale. Great job for the rest of the brothers coming in and make this.
And big shout out to our IG followers.
Come on. Shout out to my family. I know that they big on that, man. Love y'all. And yes, y'all donate to Nike because they acknowledge Juneteenth. PCP, we always acknowledging Juneteenth. God damn it, send some money over here this way. Show some love, man. Show some love. But yes, follow us on all streaming platforms, please. Like and subscribe, comment, engage in commentary, all of that. Please fuck with us. Yes, indeed. This is another one. Peace and love, man. Peace and love.